Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people on whose traditional lands these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Okay, entertainment only, and using my runic tarot in this particular reading. First of all, my heart goes out and absolute light and prayers go to the 25 miners trapped underground in Ballarat in Victoria of Australia, a gold mine after a rock fall that has killed one miner and seriously injured a second. The seriously injured miner has been brought to the surface and taken to hospital. He's in critical condition, but 25 other miners are trapped beyond this rockfall in what I believe is, they call it a rescue pod, where there is equipment and supplies for them, but they are 3 kilometres underground. So the rescue may take some time, but it is underway. So absolute heart go out to those and all the families that are affected, because when you're talking about a total of 27 miners and their families and friends and extended families and friends, etc., in a town the size of Ballarat, there would probably be very few people who weren't personally affected by this. So I'm hoping for a speedy rescue, hoping that all goes well. Now I'm going to look at Viktor Orban and his future in this reading. Viktor Orban is the Prime Minister of Hungary, and he was the one that recently visited Trump in Mar-a-Lago and then went on to visit China before heading home. Hungary is part of the EU. It's also, I believe, part of NATO. However, Orban is very pro-Russia, and the reason he's saying he's pro-Russia is because he says if they stand up against Russia, then they run the risk of being attacked with and facing leading to war. I'm not sure how that stacks up actually, because if you're part of NATO and part of the EU and you're pushing back against Russia, especially given the current circumstances. But anyhow, he has been taking this position for quite a number of years prior to the Ukraine invasion, and I suspect he stood behind this position prior to Ukraine, thinking it would be over within a week. So his position's not looking particularly stable at the moment. So what's happened? He's been Prime Minister since 2010, where just having a look here, his party won 52% of the votes, standalone party. However, due to some really weird post-communist configuration of the election and therefore government, apparently it gave him 60%, 68% of the seats in government, even though they only won 52% of the votes. Now, what happened then is because they had 2/3 majority, he could then change some rules in regards to voting in Hungary, and it's just convoluted. Look it up in Wikipedia. 2014, he began installing we'll call it a liberal government. Now, liberal means basically it's a communist government under the disguise of democracy, basically what you would call Russia. They did hold an election in 2014 where they got 44, his party got 44% of the votes, so formed a coalition. I might be wrong here with my dates. Formed a coalition with, this might be 2018. Only got 44% of the votes, so formed a coalition with the extreme far right of Hungary. And in 2020, the government with the extreme far right voted to have a never-ending state of emergency in Hungary. I'm not quite sure. So declared a state of emergency. This was because of COVID, I suspect, but there was no end date. So basically what's happened is Orban is now the Prime Minister in a country under a state of emergency, which gives him all sorts of powers over and beyond what he would have had. 2022, the two parties together won the last election. Oh, it's so convoluted. Won the last election under the fear-mongering of claiming that if they stood up against Russia, they would be the next target. Just crazy. So anyhow, they have their elections every 4 years in Hungary. The next elections are 2026. And here we've got, as I split the deck, poker shuffling and split, we've got Russia and we've got Ukraine, the defiance of Ukraine. So I want to have a look, first of all, at Hungary. There's nothing that can happen right at the moment. Oh, however, the bog down in Ukraine, defiance of Ukraine, is putting paid to some of the messaging that Orban put out there, and the country is just sitting in suspension at the moment before hopefully taking the light path forward. So I want to have a look. Oh boy, the energies of Orban going forward. Nasty, nasty piece of work that he is. The energies of, yeah, he's just a mercenary. I'm going to put it out there. He is just a mercenary. Entertainment only. I'm just going to say, if you are in favour of Orban and you support Russia, then just off you go. The energies future of Orban, and then I'll have a look at the Hungary going forward elections as well. Now I'll just click over here because these cards are very dark. See whether I can lighten it. So the energies of Orban, yeah, he's got some difficult decisions to make because the truth is getting out there, and the corpses on the trees are being exposed. So we've got corpse here and a corpse here. The dark wood in behind him, the illusion under the fog. So he's facing a difficult decision going forward. It is another 2 years before the next election, but he is literally the wolf. The wolf in regards to this. Yeah, there's new energy coming forward. There is volatile information being brought forward in regards to Orban. Okay, which way do you want to go? Energies behind the scenes. I'm going to use my traditional reading for this, Seven of Cups. It is about, okay, thank you. Being told to say, if you hear my boys, let me know, because they get quite chatty at times. It is the birth being brought forward. So this is the energies behind the scenes, him bringing forward this new beginning, but it's being presented. So this is the I'm going to say that 2018 forming the coalition, 2020 the state of emergency. Greed, power, addiction, ego. That's the energies behind the scenes, because what he's bringing forth is what he brought forth new was rewarded by all this behind it. Yeah, what do we got? Seven of Swords. The spy in the camp, the thief, the stealing, the betrayal. Yicky energy for him behind the scenes. Coming out of this energy, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. A facade of homeland security, stability. That's what he's presenting. But coming out of all this lying and betrayal, etc., is his defiance in the face of the messaging that's coming out. So there is messaging coming forward for him. He's going to be defiant about it. He's got this, I'm going to say a facade. It's not the usual Queen of Pentacles reading message, but it's very much about bringing forth it is about homeland security. It is stability and security within. But this is how he's presenting himself, as the benevolent healer, bringing stability and security. But as these lies are coming out, as this betrayal is coming out, he's going to double down on his messaging. The karma hanging over him, he's going to be viewed differently, and he's going to be stopped as we have the emotional maturity energy coming forth, the diplomat, the negotiator. Yeah, he's going to be stopped as I'm going to say, really powerful common sense prevails. Okay, here he is, the emperor, the dictator for life, state of emergency. I'm really surprised he hasn't declared himself a dictator for life under the state of emergency, cancelling elections, etc. But there is change coming. So we've got the emperor is no more. This could also be Putin, and he tied himself to Putin. And when the knowledge comes forward of Putin's despised demise, Orban has lost everything. We've got the Russia card, so okay, Putin, and Orban's going to find himself out in the cold. Hungary might even find itself out in the cold, but I'm reading about Orban. It's going to find himself in this wounded position where he's going to find no solace and no help. And then we have the new government coming forward in the face of Orban's demise. 3 swords in the back, about to have his head cut off. Due to his mercenary actions, what have I got here? Feathering his own nest. The truth is going to restrict him, which is going to bring about a significant ending for him. So, okay, well, pretty much like a few other dictatorship leaders around the world are going to find themselves, once the demise of Putin and changes come forth in Russia, he's going to find himself very much on the nose and out. So let's have a look at... No, I mean, there were no really good cards there for Orban. In fact, there were no good cards for Orban. So show me Orban. Show me Hungary. Hungary going forward. First of all, the current under Orban and the future. Show me Hungary coming up for election in 2026. Of course, I will do readings. Okay, show me future of Hungary. Okay, let's have a look. For those that wonder, I do poker shuffle the cards back in and then do a quick shuffle until I'm told to stop. Okay, the future of Hungary under Orban, restricted by the truth, and challenged by death. Here we've got the families, but also its past, at the foundation. And in the past, we have the negotiator, the benevolent leader, this is not Orban, by the way, the diplomat, the emotional maturity coming forth, actually being brought forth. So there is an emotional maturity. If you know who this might be, let me know. And then we've got Chariot, moving on, moving forward. Wow. We've got the King of Pentacles, is this Orban or is this? See where this leads. It might be this immediate future. Okay, thank you. Orban. Okay, I'm going to say this is EU. This is Orban. Externally, claim victory. Very rarely have that as my victory card. Externally, he's going to claim victory going forward, that he's victorious in whatever he does, but he's going to find himself more and more isolated. Hopes and fears vanished. I know what the Six of Pentacles means, but to me this is very much about throwing out and ranks closed. Banished from the EU. Is that what he's trying to achieve? Getting banished from the EU and banished from NATO. However, the outcome is this new beginning, significant new beginning. A lot of determined hard work going on behind the scenes that's going to bring a new beginning. And the Sun card. All will be magnificent. Something unexpected out of left field that's bringing a sort of truth and bringing forth powerful messaging that will bring about an ending and a new, planting the seeds for a new beginning as the devil is investigated and the oligarchical connection, the raping and pillaging basically, harsh truth coming forward in regards to this devil will be investigated for his raping and pillaging, a harsh truth, and then we have rebalancing, temperance, a return to temperance. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, okay. Again, not good cards for Orban. Good outcome for Hungary, but in the meantime, fasten the seatbelts. I'm going to ask quickly, will Orban make it to the next election? Because I'm getting a suspicion, because 2026, this year is a really bad year for those that have connected themselves to the Kremlin. Tell me, will Orban, just a couple of cards, will Orban make it as Prime Minister to the next election? Quick look. Won't bother with the light. 9 of Wands, having to surrender in the front of new information. Determined work going on behind the scenes. And the victory of Ukraine. Dark money. I'm going to call it dark money here because I'm just, look at the face. I don't know if you can see it in the light, the face of that dude. New information that's coming forward that's going to really put up some boundaries. It's a no card. Dark money, victory in Ukraine, the exposure of the mercenary actions, and the truth moving forward. Then we've got a new beginning with new agreements in place for the sake of the families and strengths. Can also be past ties, pre-Orban past ties, seeing things differently from a different point of view, and then a judgment moment. He's going to be stopped with a judgment moment. Oh boy, we've then got the whistleblower and the lies, deceit, betrayal. The whistleblower bringing forth volatile information about lies, deceit, betrayal, and then a new beginning. So the question was, is he going to make it to the 2026 election? As Prime Minister, very possibly not. Very possibly not. I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, actually. Once the Kremlin crumbles, once Ukraine is victorious, the lies that he spun are literally just going to fall apart. Okay, love to you all. Take care.